And to get started,
straight to business in El Salvador. While signing a nuclear agreement, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced another. He says El Salvador's president has offered up the country's prisons for US deportees, including American citizens.
And he's also offered to do the same for dangerous criminals currently in custody and serving their sentences in the United States, even if they're US citizens or legal residents.
Mr Rubio has also declared he's now in charge of the US Agency for International Development that Donald Trump plans to close after freezing its funding.
I love the concept, but they turn out to be radical left lunatics.
With the agency's website already offline and the USAID offices closed to its own staff, that role may put a bit less on Mr Rubio's plate. And he plans to align the independent agency to his priorities as Secretary of State.
The attitude that USAID has adopted over the years is, no, we are independent of the national interest. We fund programs irrespective of whether it's aligned or not aligned with a foreign policy. That's ridiculous.
Democrats rallied outside USAID headquarters to protest the closure.
I lived in a refugee camp for 4 years as a child surviving civil war. It is the essential programs that USAID provided that kept my family and I fed and safe. It is the resources that so many people around the world rely on. And it is our soft power.
Among recipients, there has been dismay. In Kosovo, USAID funds had been used for infrastructure projects and media organisations. In Ukraine, this organisation for veterans and their families hasn't been able to pay salaries in recent weeks.
At the same time, quite a few people are coming in. They volunteer, they put on their uniform and come back to work. It was a big shock for our team because it was very unexpected.
And in South Africa, USAID funds had been used by HIV clinics, where staff were given stop work orders after the freeze started.
People living with HIV should still be able to access treatment through government facilities. But the government facilities are going to come under more pressure because you're removing a whole number of staff that were otherwise being funded by the grants.
Mr Rubio has since made an exemption to the funding freeze for programs the US government calls life-saving. Getting clarity on exactly what's covered will be a life or death issue for some. Loughlin Patrick, ABC News.